He has time.
He's
Off
got
the left
him.
side. Dobbs is there. Leaping grab. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Good morning, football world. Yep, it's another day of Kinnikin in the morning. And hey, the combine started. And look, we got an all-star panel again this morning. A couple from the road, a couple from the house. I'm telling you, we're all over the place. There's a lot of news this morning. We've got trade rumors. We got people not, wanting to trade with Denver, it seems. We've got a bunch of stuff going on today. But first off, Ken, how you doing this morning, brother?
Oh, not too bad. Enjoying the lovely storm coming through New York. Tommy can attest to how fun it is because he lives right around the corner from me.
It was beautiful out yesterday, and now I'm looking outside, all gray. The lake's right there. It's just terrible. I'm just like, New York weather. Y'all don't want to live
And
there.
of course, we got the best car salesman in the NFC North. I swear, every time I look at Woody's page, he's sold like, hey, look, another car, and I'll go 20 minutes later. Oh, look, here's another car. Woody, how you doing this morning?
Good. I like to think it's all internal. It's my charm, which I don't blame anybody for not buying a car from me. But I'm waiting. I'm glad to be here. I'm waiting for Hurricane Woody to come through this afternoon here in Pennsylvania, so I'm ready.
And of course, he's broadcasting from a brand new Raptor they probably just gave him for free for selling so many cars, right?
No, I got my Ram at 1500. I wish I had the Bronco Raptor.
There we go. Isaac, good morning. Driving into work this morning. Poor man's had to go to the office more than he wanted to this week.
Yeah, good morning. They got to deal with this.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Yeah, I don't know if you guys been through crazy traffic, but, it's all day over here.
Hey, Rob, what's the traffic like in your living room? You're muted, brother. Rob, you're muted.
Yeah,
there you
go.
Right there.
For Christ's sake.
Yeah, Rob's like me fighting that rough traffic to get to your living room, right?
Yeah, it's tough, man.
And of course, you and I being down here in the South, we're enjoying that nice sunny weather while they're all getting.
No, that's what I was telling you.
I don't give a shit. Keep that heat down there, please.
Oh man, on Monday it was 100. It hit 100 degrees here in Texas.
Yeah, you can pound sand and keep that down there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, today it's like 30 degrees. It's literally
good.
3
You need
days
a
later. It's like, yeah, bro. It's like 50 degrees colder this morning.
Bipolar.
My son literally just called me and said I'm freezing.
Weather problem.
I'm telling you, if only it were only weather problems. But look, we actually have news today that's not Bear or Packer related. MVS was cut by the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, that's Packer related. Oh well, I was wrong. But hey, he went, got his ring, got cut. Is anyone surprised that MVS got cut? I think he was a $12 million cap hit or something like that. Is anyone surprised that MVS is gone from Kansas City?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Taylor Swift cut him, and I'm not surprised at all.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm more surprised about is Tony didn't get cut before MVS.
And with his injuries too.
Yeah, really.
He ain't got hands either.
I think this is the week. Now we've started the combine. This is the week we'll probably start seeing. We're obviously going to see tags and non-tags. They're not. Actually, they were pretty. Kansas City was pretty active. They're not going to tag Jones. They tagged. Who was it? They tagged Snead. Yeah, thank you. They tagged Snead, but they said Jones is their objective of the long-term contract. So a lot of news.
I knew they weren't going to let Snead get out of there. I knew it. I knew they weren't.
Yeah, good, because the Eagle. I was glad because the Eagles were very interested in him, and I was like, no, nobody in Philly. Everybody knows I hate the Eagles more than Green Bay. Bro,
he was a force in the playoffs. He was a force, man. He was out there playing. He was balling.
And Lions fans were photoshopping Snead in a Lions uniform.
Yeah,
like, not
yeah,
taking
that's what I
it.
mean. They were like on them too.
They gave him the option though to
And they just re-signed Maben too.
To go with
I mean,
the
look.
MVS stuff, him getting released might give a little bit of some credence to the rumor that they're trying to end up trading for JJ.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a big trade rumor that they're gonna trade for JJ.
You got to be replacing him with somebody because that was your deep threat.
Why would he not want to go there? Why would that not be a place for JJ to go if they want him? Holy
I'm pretty
cow.
sure everybody on this panel can agree that it would make every one of us sick to see him
Dude,
go.
they would lock up their third. That would put them really in contention for a third straight Super Bowl.
Hey, Woody, they're talking
yeah.
about the other JJ in the division, not the good one.
Yeah,
They're
Jefferson.
talking about
Justin
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
You got to think that we're me and Ken were talking. The Hallis Hall report. We're thinking Mooney might be a good place for Kansas City too, because Kansas City was looking at him last year at the trade deadline.
Possibly.
Well, that's a big one.
So,
I didn't know
hey,
about that.
we've got some other big news, and we haven't gotten to do this often, but we've got Dirty Bird news.
Falcon news.
Dom, take it away, man. Talk to us, man. What's going on here?
All right, last night the Falcons decided to cut Jonnu Smith with a career high 50 catches, 582 yards, and 3 touchdowns. But they're saving $6.5 million and only taking a dead cap hit of 2.5. I do
Paying a
believe.
lot for that kind of. That's a lot to be paying a guy for that.
Yeah, backup. I mean, he did good. He was the 4th leading receiver on our team, but with Zach Robinson's offensive scheme, you only need for one tight end, and that tight end is going to be Kyle Pitts. There was a report yesterday. They came out and they were talking about Kyle Pitts, asking his health-wise and everything. Raheem Morrison, Terry, I can't say his last name, Fatone, basically said they're going to work with him. They're going to get him back up to his prime level he was at rookie year and everything, but they need a QB. We need a QB, and we need a trade for him. So we're releasing some cap, I believe, to find I honestly believe that there's so much rumors and everything. We're going to trade for a QB, I believe. I don't think we're going to move up in the draft because the top 3, I think those top 3 are going to either get QB. Bears going to go with Harrison Jr., obviously. But
Good call. Good call. I don't want to be pissed off at you already.
Which quarterback do you want to trade for?
What was that?
Which quarterback do you want to trade for?
I personally like Jaden Daniels, honestly.
Yeah.
Like that guy, there's Caleb Williams, generational talent. But Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, that guy, he's phenomenal. Like his throwing power, his IQ, reading the field and everything like that. Like you don't win the Heisman just because you a really good football player. You have to show that you're consistent and everything, and he is. I wish we could trade, but these rumors and everything I've been reading, like it's going to be everybody wants like 2 first-round picks and a player, really good player and everything for that because
the cost these days
is wild.
Well, you got to think Daniels too. He's playing in the toughest conference in college too, so that's why I think he's ahead of Caleb Williams.
I was reading some mocks that they had Daniels ahead of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams has been dropping, man.
He's had attitude. I'm telling you. Like,
I think though, I still see the articles though where like Washington, he's the guy. Like Washington is dead set. So I still see a scenario, and Woody and I will like this, where we, like I said yesterday, if the reason the Fields controversy is still happening because Ryan Poles is trying to get paid to take Marvin Harrison Jr. And why wouldn't you try to get paid to take the guy you're going to take? We did it last year to the Sheagles. We made them pay us to take the guy we wanted to take. Why not make Washington pay us to take Marvin Harrison Jr. and then they can have Caleb? So then LeBron, that says, okay, let's say he's gone at 1. The Bears are taking Marvin Harrison at 2. At 3, a quarterback probably comes off the board. Let's say it's Drake May, maybe for New England, just say. So are you trying to trade with Arizona at 4? Because now you can go, hey, Arizona, look it. We know you want Marvin Harrison Jr. The Bears snagged him. So go drop back to 8. You're still going to get either Neighbors or Adunez.
Yep.
Adunez, but we're going to give you our number one next year. We're going to give you our number. We're going to give you our number one next year. We're going to give you our number two next year, and we're going to give you 2 or 3 other things and sell the house almost. But here you go. Is that what you want to do?
I personally give up a second, a third for this year, and a number one for next year for that fourth. That
Hey, I don't,
you know, with the QBs or the wide receivers or whatever they need. I know we need a edge rusher also. They've been looking at Dallas Turner. Yeah, I'd give up the first round for next year. I mean, sell the house. You got a young team already, so why not?
I don't think you got to worry about the Eagles drafting the right wide receiver. They drafted Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we chose Shabinsky over Mahomes. So I hear it every year.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things like that.
Well,
so.
there's a reason for that. Anyone notice Woody's wearing a North Carolina shirt? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just
Go
saying.
Heels.
Woody's
Heels
fault.
up, baby.
But I mean, for the Falcons, because they got to look at it. If we sit at 8, okay, well, a quarterback isn't. At least 2 quarterbacks are gone by the end of the 3rd pick, right? Is what we're assuming. And then if Arizona stays, they're going to take Neighbors because he'll be the next best receiver. So then they got 5, 6, and 7. So who you got there at 5, 6, and 7? You've got the Giants.
Giants
at 6.
And
The Chargers at 5.
I don't know who's at 7.
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking it up right now.
so the Chargers aren't taking a quarterback. You don't need to jump in front of them. So maybe you could trade to 5. There's rumors. Of
Yeah, I
course,
was
that you
going to
guys
say
will-
the
Giants, you might want to jump in front of the Giants because they might get froggy and take a quarterback.
That's Kevin
And then
saying yesterday.
And then who's at 7? That's
Tennessee.
Yeah, the Titans.
Tennessee.
That's
I
another
don't
one.
think.
I
I don't know if
what
they're
they need.
taking a quarterback. I don't think they're taking a quarterback. There
No.
in Tennessee.
They got
Yeah,
Levis.
but
They're gonna
are they really sold on Will Levis? That's the question.
They like
Yeah,
him
I
a
think
lot
so.
from all the reports
I
I've
think so.
seen.
Yeah,
He carved up the Falcons his
really
first
good.
game, so. But
Yeah, I
that's
think
the Falcons'
Will-
weakness.
They're really high on Will Levis. That guy, I mean, he really proved that he could be their franchise quarterback going forward.
So really, though, what I'm getting at though is for Atlanta, they don't have to go to 4. They could go to 5. I think if you look at 5, 6, and 7, the only team that you might want to worry about taking a quarterback would be at 6,
Yeah.
and that'd be the Giants. So you might not have to trade with Arizona and give up that big of a ransom. You can give up less if you go to 5, or if you go to 6. Going to 7 is a waste of time for you. I
Yeah,
think,
there's
because
no
they're not
point to
taking
leave
a
up
quarterback.
one spot. Like,
So Atlanta.
I think 5's the place to go if you're trying to jump in front and get a quarterback, because the Chargers, they're most likely, from what I've seen, looking for an offensive tackle, and it's not like they can't get an offensive tackle at 8.
yeah.
Or a defensive edge, because we know they're shopping Mac. Now there's rumors they're shopping Bosa. So they're
That's
going
crazy.
through. Yeah, that one
That
caught
is
me off
crazy.
guard. And the way I saw it, it was a link to the Bears. Like, first off, I don't think the Bears are trading for Bosa. We can sign a defensive end for the same amount of money and give up 0 trade capital or anything to get him. But
They can
Bosa's
also-
being shopped. Mac is being
can-
shopped.
Yeah, they could also go for a running back because they're not promising Eckler will be back.
Yeah.
I think they're stripping down and going youth movement out west. But I don't think
Does that mean Eckler's up for grabs too?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Oh,
And
holy
of course,
shit.
the Lions
a
fans all
business,
think
man.
Eckler's. Well, look at every free agent this year. This is funny about the Lions. They still haven't won a trophy in the Super Bowl era. Lions took 32 years to win a playoff game. Lions. Every free agent that's out there, the Lions say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get this guy. Oh, we're gonna get this guy." Like, dude, you're not getting Eckler. You're not getting Bosa. I mean, it is hilarious.
They gave up their entire running game last year to get what they got. I mean, they went after and took Monty from you guys and drafted Gibbs and gave up Swift and Williams, and they already bought into that shit.
That was a smart
they're
trade.
running-
I'm not saying they did great.
Yeah.
They did. The Lions ended up great. I don't see them going after any running game. I think they're quite happy with what they got.
Yeah.
So
I could see Detroit maybe going after,
A linebacker.
you know, hometown favorite, you know, because he's from Max Crosby. That would be a killer if they would get him on the defensive line.
yeah,
Because
but
he's
they
from
don't
Detroit.
a lot.
There ain't no way in hell the Raiders.
Raiders
are gonna
fans
let him
says
go.
there's no way they give up Crosby. He's a lifetime Raider.
I mean,
That guy made to be a Raider.
but it looks like Caleb is going to end up in Washington one way or the other. I think that's
Yep.
the most likely destination. The question is going to be for Dominic is what are they going to do at quarterback, and are they going to have to jump? How far up the draft are they going to have to jump to get a quarterback?
I know they're going to be very aggressive. Raheem Morris said, like, trade. He mentioned trade last because I believe that's what they're going to do. He mentioned it very late. He's like, oh, I forgot to mention a trade. Like, he put a big emphasis on it. So, and what they're, you know, what him and Terry are doing, they're just, you know, they're beating around the bush. I think they got a plan already and set, which I already said, and everything. They got it set. They just got to execute, and they can't tamper. Because they were getting asked questions about certain players, like, hey, you know, I can't answer that. That's tampering. He's like, and I want to give my respect to all these Falcon fans.
Oh, as far as the free agents, yeah, like they can't talk about Baker, for instance, because that'd be tampering.
Yup, and
Yeah.
like Fields and all that, like, you know,
I don't want to hear it.
Well, no, look, they could talk about Fields because that wouldn't be tampering. That'd be trade versus free agent. Baker's a free agent. The Fields thing's not going to happen. I thought it was funny. I saw an article that, you know, Atlanta reaches out to Chicago. Fields trade imminent. Like, it could be that they're reaching out to talk. I know it's stupid, but this is what the clickbaiters do this time of year, and they got to get your eyeballs and their emojis. And they got to get you to post on their page to tell them how stupid they are when they already know they're stupid. But I mean, I think though Atlanta is actually really calling Poles saying, dude, what's up with the number one, man? What do I have to give you? And Poles' response is, you can't give me anything I want because I can't draft Marvin Harrison Jr. at 8.
Yeah.
Nope. I got a question for Dirty Bird. Now, if you don't trade up and you need a quarterback and he's there, would you accept Bo Nix as your quarterback?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I like this guy already. I don't want to hear no more Fields rumors shit.
I say
you take Bo Nix.
Go get a, you know, what's it called, a veteran, free agency, you know, Russell Wilson. But you know, you hear those rumors he wants to stay, and you know, bro.
Well, yeah, Atlanta could definitely get Bo Nix and not even have to move. I mean, that's another thing about the smokescreen that is the this time of year. Atlanta is in a position where they could draft Bo Nix or even Penix.
Yeah,
would you be happy with Penix? So I mean, I wouldn't mind him either. You could get him at 8 easily.
I hear his medical charts are looking good too. So
go ahead, Isaac.
Oh, I was listening to sports radio today, and they played a clip what the Giants GM actually was talking about. And he said he really likes the quarterback draft class. So I think his mindset is possibly drafting a quarterback.
And you do you think they would use Daniel Jones in a trade, or just use the backup quarterback sitting down for a couple years?
No, I don't know if they're going to trade Daniel Jones. They gave him a pretty high contract.
Hell yeah, they did.
Yeah, whoever they trade him to, they would have to eat most of that contract. So I don't think they're going to.
No way.
See, Vincent, if we trade down at number 1 to give Fields a team, we need another wide receiver. Draft him at 1. Yeah. Trade the 9th pick for the draft capital.
Yeah. So and Vince, I agree with you. Like, if I trade down, I'm trading down. Look, I think I already mentioned it though, and we all agreed. If the Bears are trading down, it's to like basically Washington to go from 1 to 2. And the haul's not going to be massive, mind you. We might pick up a second rounder this year, and we'll swap picks, pick up a second rounder, which is fine. We can use it, and maybe a first rounder next year, and that's it. And actually, that's pretty good compensation because we could use that second round pick to draft the center, which is another need if we just don't sign one. The Bears have enough money. We could sign. We have 4 needs in Chicago, right? Center, safety, edge, and wide receiver. If you draft Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver's done. The Bears have enough money to sign the top free agent in all 3 of their other needs and still have money left over. That's after signing Jalen Johnson. So, I mean, we could trade down. And then at number 9, look, we can trade down again. And the way I look at number 9 is this. If you get to 9 and Alt is on the board, or Browers is on the board, or Adunias is on the board, You use number 9 and you get one of those 3 because any one of those 3 is going to make your team better. Especially if you already drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. and you double down and make a luxury pick and take a Dunez, that Bears roster would have 3 bona fide number 1 receivers on that roster, which is like Ken's saying, going, oh, how the hell am I going to cover all 3 of these guys? I mean, they would have that. Or let me finish the thought, Ken. Or if one of those 3 guys is not on the board, now you trade back and get draft capital. So I think if anything, the number 1 pick, it's not going to go for any further back than 2 or 3. At 9, if one of those 3 guys isn't there, you can trade back to go further back in the first round, pick up draft capital, and still get what you want. But I mean, that's so the Bears are going to look to add capital. But I don't get. Here's the thing. Oh, add capital. Dude, you've got one of the youngest teams in the league right now. And I know we got younger. Obviously, we dropped Whitehair and we dropped Bojack. So, the Packers, the Bears, the Lions, all 3 teams very, very young. The Bears have more cap space than the other 2 teams. We have more cap space next year than the other 2 teams right now. Why do I have to keep picking up draft capital? What am I rebuilding for the next 200 years? No, how about I get a team ready to compete in the playoffs now? I don't get why everyone's like, oh, you always got to pick up more draft capital. No, you don't. You pick up players that improve your team. That's the goal here.
Well, screw you then, Ken. That's what I said.
It's hard for me to believe that. It's hard for me to believe that Poles trades the number 1 pick again. Like goes year to year. He's going to pick up Marvin Harrison Jr. for sure. Like because you don't want Marvin Harrison Jr. to drop once he's in your fingertips, right? That number 9 pick, I can see him trading down with that one. But number 1, no. There's no way Poles goes back-to-back years trading the number 1.
I mean, if he does, and I kind of agree with you, but if he does trade number 1, it's because he's going to 2. And that would make sense because then he's getting someone to pay him to take Marvin Harrison Jr., and you're probably picking up our second-round pick. So that would make sense.
The only reason I think that the Bears would trade that number 1 pick, go down with Washington, is because the rumors about Caleb Williams. And with Kingsbury there at Washington, reuniting with Caleb Williams, and they thinking, oh, Bears might draft him. Nah. So if they want to trade with us, I guess the rumors worked, and we'll get some draft capital there for next year as well. But if I was Poles, I'd be like, Marvin Harrison, number 1, get it over with.
Dom, do you have something breaking? Because you put
Yes, 2 minutes ago. Your boy, Caleb Williams, excited for whatever comes, even if he's drafted by the Bears. He said,
I'm going to go pound and fucking pound his ass.
If I get drafted, I'll be excited.
He said that
They trade the pick and I get drafted by somebody else, I'm just as excited. He's trying to,
So that just shows you what the media tried to do to Caleb Williams. Like
he says he's not trying to push an agenda, too. So.
Trying to say he didn't want to go to the Bears. See what the media tries to do to these players?
Hey, Dom, I'm trying not to drink coffee.
I wouldn't want a quarterback. Say if the Bears wanted to draft the quarterback at number 1, I would want to see him in the combine. If you're going to turn down the combine because your fucking ego sucks, then I won't want you. Go somewhere else.
What about private workouts?
We've seen
What's that?
We've seen a lot of these top quarterbacks recently not throwing the combine, and it hasn't really hurt their draft stock much.
You got that right. It's
now,
hold on. What
workout for a separate team without going to the combine.
Hey, Woody, hold on.
You
did say though that you wouldn't mind Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels turned down the combine.
I was just saying, out of those quarterbacks, okay, Daniels is in the better conference. Yes, if I had to choose, definitely. But
he was just ranking them, but I get it. I wouldn't. I agree with you, Woody. I wouldn't want anybody who doesn't go through the combine. That's just to me is like you don't want to show out what you got. That's the whole point to the combine.
Right. Absolutely.
I wouldn't say free agents are wastes of money because every team picks up good free agents that can put them over the hump. It depends on when you sign them. If you sign a guy that's 30 years old to a 5-year deal worth $184 million, and those deals end up more times than not not being good. But you're signing these 24, 25-year-old guys who got 5 to 6 years left on them. spending some money on. I mean, look what the Bears did with their linebacking core last year. They were free agents, and all of a sudden they went from the worst run defense in the league to the best. So, Vincent, you may stay competitive via the draft. You may have done it that way, but it hasn't translated into that many Super Bowls for you, has it? But you look at teams who do free agency, who do make big trades. They're winning Super Bowls. Something we're not doing. I'm not trying to slam on the Packers and saying that, right, Ken? Don't get me twisted, because the Bears aren't winning Super Bowls either, right? But I mean, look at the teams that are. They make that key acquisition, be it some free agent or a big trade.
I can agree. Yeah, I can agree with that part of it during the Ted Thompson era of how allergic we were to free agency. I think if we would have dipped into free agency, Rodgers would have another ring by now. And solely draft and develop, I don't agree with, but that should be your main focus. And I like how Goody does it. He's supplementing the guys that don't happen to hit with these lower price free agents and getting massive production out of them. Would I like to see a big name guy? Yeah, but I don't want to overpay for him either.
And Poles, came right out and said we're building through the draft, and he has built through the draft. And he's supplemented, good use of word there, Ken. He has supplemented the draft with some free agents. I think that's what all good general managers do. And I think Goody is starting to do that. I think Goody couldn't do that as much in Green Bay before because he had some albatrosses like, A-Rod, that contract. Kind of
Goody's always brought in free agents, man. He's always.
But I mean, I'm not. Once again, though, guys, I'm not saying he didn't do it, but he was restricted because he had big contracts where he couldn't bring in the big splashy
That's
players.
the thing is all those little holes, all those two little tiny holes we had, he filled in with play like Rasul Douglas, Campbell. I mean, there's a lot of guys he brought in that were free agents that helped plug a hole that we needed at the time. Every one of them showed out. I don't know how he does it, but
Rob, you're missing my point. I'm not saying he didn't do that. What I'm saying is he didn't go out and get, let's say, the big defensive end, guys. Right? Yeah. The big name guy that was making a big name impact. He did a great job signing what he signed. I agree with you, but the Packers couldn't go out and get the Josh Allen.
If they were worth the money, if they were worth that money, he would go get them.
But he didn't have the money.
He'll pay. He gets his money out of his players. He's not. If they were worth that big contract, he would go get them.
Rob, you're still missing the point. He couldn't spend the 20. He couldn't go out and get the $20 million a year guy because he had to do what he had to do. And he did. And that's what I'm saying. Right. That's what I was saying. And now, though, I think you might see the Packers do a little bit more of that. Maybe not this season, but next season when they get some cap relief, I think you might see Goody go out and make that big splash if he can. Like, hey, if he figures this year, what's the need? If let's say they figure the needs wide receiver and there's a good wide receiver next year as a free agent, a $15-20 million guy, and he thinks it's going to put him over the top, I guarantee you Goody's going to pull the trigger next year.
Could you imagine how much that would frost Aaron Rodgers' ass when they finally go bring in a big name free agent? It's once he's gone after how hard he clamored for it.
Yeah, but the problem with that, what I tell A-Rod? Suck it up, Cupcake. The reason we couldn't go out and sign the big name guys because you were 80% of our salary cap.
Yeah, I'd say the caveat to that is that we signed Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith under Goody, and everybody thought we overpaid for them.
Yeah.
I love that signing when he first became our general manager. Oh, absolutely, because I won not 100%, but I give a lot of credit for Gary's development to Z. Z might have been an asshole on the way out, but while he was there, he was pretty good.
Yeah, speaking of Goody, the whole defensive mindset.
Yeah, speaking of Goody, we're expected to get a decision on Bakhtiari by March 13th, and from his quote that this is the time of year that we're looking at everything. Those decisions are going to come pretty soon. And he had already said, too, in the same interview that he does not want to carry Bakhtiari's cap number into this next league year, which could either mean he's restructuring him or he's looking to get rid of him. I think these are the heavy options that he's weighing.
So let me go around the panel. Let's take a vote here. Ken, do you think it's restructure or cut?
Oh, I'm starting to feel like it's going to be a restructure, but I want it to be a cut.
Okay, Rob, what about you?
They're going to restructure him probably. I don't see how they don't.
Isaac, restructure or cut on Bakhtiari?
Yeah, I want it to be a cut. We need that 20 million.
Now, this is where it's going to get interesting for the next two guys. Dom, if
Yes.
Bakhtiari is cut, well, first off, do you think the Packers will restructure or cut? And then the second part for you and Woody both, the question I'll pose is if the Packers cut, do you want your team to sign him at now, which will probably be a discounted price?
Yeah, I
And
mean,
we'll go with
it'll put a veteran presence on our line. Like as I said earlier, like a couple weeks ago, I don't trust Caleb McGrady, so he shows up and then he doesn't show up. If you get what I'm saying, and then I ain't gonna say he fakes injuries, but let's just say them injuries don't be believable.
You mean he's not trying to drink coffee?
Yeah, right there, exactly. Like, because he got paid big, right, for an offensive tackle, and he was out for like 9-10 games this year or something like
So
that.
you would sign Bakhtiari if the Packers cut if you can get him on a prove it deal.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, what
We have the cap space, so why not?
What do you think? Do you think the Packers cut or restructure Bakhtiari, and then if they cut him, do you think the Bears sign him? Would you be happy if the Bears signed him on a prove it deal?
Cut and hell no. We have enough injury-prone guys on our offensive line.
I am kind of the same as Woody. Now, if I could get him like super cheap, like because he's already gonna make $20 million just for breathing next year. So like if I could get him a cheap prove it deal and I got some extra funds and say what the hell, I'll sign you for a year for 10 mil because I have it. Yeah, I wouldn't be upset. I look at him as a rotational piece now. But yeah, I think they're gonna cut him as well. And lost Isaac. He must have got into the office. I think they're going to cut him as well. They need a $20 million, and like Ken said in the past, he's already got a guy. You guys got a guy who started the whole season. Box replacement's already in place. I think he's going to covet the money. Let us know in the comments what you think. Okay, here we go. If you're watching us, if you want to make a comment, please give StreamYard the ability to show your name.
We have noticed that from the NFL, the huddle group, it does mess up for some reason.
Okay.
You can see the names all in it, but once it comes to here, it gives this Facebook user.
Okay,
so
we got one person. We got one person. One Facebook user says to restructure. Let me see. Hey, Bear Down Mike. Good morning.
Morning.
What's this? If we trade for that dress wearing bum, I'm finding a new team. Bear Basic. They must be talking about who are we talking about trading for? I mean, that'd be Caleb. It was the guy who's wearing the dress.
I don't want oh my fucking God.
So yeah, you see Woody's reaction. But Bakhtiari, though, we've talked to him kind of extensively over the last week or two. And Bakhtiari, it's in the same boat, well, different boat, but same timeline for the Bears as JJ. Our JJ, not the other JJ, the one who's inferior to our JJ.
Yeah.
Our JJ, yesterday in the press conference, Poles said that he'd like to have it done, so he doesn't have to use the tag, and he doesn't want to use the tag at all this year for any player in Chicago. So, look, I think that Goody's right. This is that time of year. You got that deadline coming, and you got this deadline. And look, T. Higgins already been tagged, right?
So has Snead
on stuff.
Yep, and Snead's been tagged. We didn't get to update the slide because it happened, after slide was made. We think Josh and Saquon will not get tagged to the second tag, and it costs too much. But look at Jalen Johnson; he's the only guy up for Chicago for tag. But we rather not use the tag and get him on a long-term deal. It's that time of year. You've got basically now 6 days. It was a week yesterday. You have 6 days left before tag has to be in place. So with Bakhtiari, it makes sense. You're either going to cut the guy and move on, or if you can get a team-friendly restructure. And like with the Bears, you sign Johnson or you tag him, but you got a week. And now with the combine, we're starting to see some movement, right? We saw players get cut. We've seen more trade talk ramp up because all the GMs are one place. This is basically like baseball's winter meetings, right? This is football's spring meeting. So we're going to see some of that. Another thing that I know Falcon fans are watching is Russell Wilson. No one is talking to Denver about Russell Wilson at all.
Well,
Nobody
nobody wants that freaking contract.
Yeah.
I still don't know how the hell they gave that to him.
What do they?
So let
what
me
do
ask
they
this.
get- What type?
Well,
of,
let me
who
ask
was-
this.
who was- never mind.
What were they thinking? No, what were they thinking?
No, like who was their lawyer? A little kid? Dude,
No.
he can do better
Well, let me
negotiation.
ask-
What I truly think it was is they were all in on Rodgers, and then once they found out that he was most likely going to be going to the Jets, that they said, well, we got to make this big splash, and we're going to just sink all this money into him to guarantee he comes here.
Well, look, you've got for tags, you've got what 6 days left on the tag train, and then
Yeah.
after that, you're 7 days from the NFL season and free agency, right? 13th or the 11th. So here's the question: in the next week or two, they've got to make a decision. Like the Packers have to make with Bakhtiari. So let me ask this question around the room. And I'll go person by person on this one. So I'll start with Ken, of course. Ken, do you think that Broncos cut Russ?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they're cutting Russell for the whole fact of not only is the relationship bad between him and Sean Payton, but with the comments that Sean Payton made as soon as he freaking got there about the guy makes you think that he just does not like him as a person, and it's not just they've got a bad relationship player coach wise. I think it's a personal dislike for each other. I
Bear
can't
down,
see-
Mike. Bear down, Mike chiming in from YouTube saying that Russell will be cut. Dominic, what do you think? Do you think, and with you will be a secondary question as well, do you think that they cut him before the start of the new year of the new league season being March 13th? And then if they cut him, do you think Atlanta makes a play to sign him?
I'm gonna give you a percentage of 70% that Atlanta makes a play to sign him and everything, because maybe they have a plan figured out before then, but I know Russell will be cut. I don't think Sean Payton, they're not on the same page. So, and they don't want that negativity in the room. They don't want the coach and the QB, for power, fighting for power. So Sean Payton gonna be like, see ya. They're blowing us the smoke screen saying, yeah, we're gonna give it 2 weeks, and it's already written on the wall.
What about you?
Say, hey, I'll be willing to accept a veteran minimum.
What do you think they take the $85 million in dead cap on it and just cut him?
Yeah, because
I think one of the biggest relationship on a team is the coach and quarterback. That one's terrible up there. I think they cut him.
And you kind of got Sean
Either
Payton
cut the
coming in
coach
from
or cut the player.
retirement. He kind
So
of power pusher.
Rob, I'll let you get the last word on this. Do you think that they're going to cut Russ? And then if they cut Russ, do you think what team do you think makes a play to sign him, or team?
I don't even know who would sign him. I mean, honestly, I questioned the whole deal when they made it. That was a lot of money to give that dude to go there. And I didn't think Russell still had it. I mean,
His wife negotiated. That's why.
yeah, somebody,
Juice, man, like
somebody negotiated a great deal for him. I mean, really, he got a great deal.
It sounds like a car sale. It sounds like a car salesman gave him that deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
what did you negotiate that contract?
Absolutely, and I got half of it, baby.
For a refund, something.
Hey, what if you got half of it? Where's our share, man? Where's our cut? I mean, we shall be getting new Fords in our driveway.
When I start getting paid for House Hall Report being on the show, then I'll start spreading
There
it
you
around.
go, bro.
That's the way the bank account works too.
Hey, I think Russ gets cut. It's gonna be interesting to see what his free agent market is. Bear down, Mike's got an interesting take. He could rush New England. Yeah, I don't think New England wants. I don't know. I think New England.
Yeah, I think they're cutting bait with Mac Jones completely. The locker room does not like him from every single report that I have heard. And Russ is already enough of a locker room problem, but to put both of them together. Rob, what do you think about him going to New England?
Man,
I don't know. You think Zappy's the answer?
No.
All right, Yeah.
I don't. Honestly, I don't. I
I
can't
don't.
even think of who would want to take on Russell with his contract and his issues. I mean, bro, it sounds like he's a super diva. I don't understand how you.
Even if they just straight cut him, so nobody's got to trade for that contract. Who do you?
Yeah, I don't. Who wants to take on $85 million on a guy, man? And how many years has he got left on it? 4?
Well, no, but Rob, you don't have what Ken is saying though is you don't have any of that garbage.
Yeah.
You have no baggage
Yeah.
with Russ. If they cut him, you don't have
They
that.
take a
You don't
hit.
have that.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
You don't take.
I mean,
you're not
then-
taking any.
Then,
hit.
then
It's
you,
whatever
then you
pay
just
him.
sign him for what, the league minimum or something, and maybe
Yeah.
Well, I think you'll get more than the league minimum because there will be I think a bidding war. I think there are a couple teams who would want his services. Bear down, Mike says New England, and that kind of makes sense. Like sign him to mentor. Maybe your rookie quarterback, you're drafting at the third pick. Well, no, I mean they might look. It might be May. Might be Penix. It might be Drake. It could be Caleb. I mean, what he's saying is they're going to draft someone maybe, or they're going to keep Mac or Zappy or whatever. But in this scenario, Russ is they're like, you sign Russ to mentor, but I think Russ wants a starting job, so I don't think that happens. And there are a couple places he could probably sign for a starting job: Atlanta, Minnesota.
I was
Vegas.
thinking about that just a couple minutes ago.
Yeah,
I don't think he will go to Atlanta now. You got Future down there.
Yeah.
Well,
See,
man, he single-handedly destroyed Denver if they can't trade him or they can't. I mean, that just sucks, bro.
I just
Well,
think
we're
he'll
saying
be
he's
fired.
cut. He's cut. Rob, for sake of
Yeah,
argument,
but they got to eat that
think
money. That
this
means
way.
they got no money to sign other players and
Right, but
replace.
they've already shown an indication that they're willing to eat $85 million in dead cap.
God damn!
They've shown they've actually said it. I think there was a
Where I'm
quote
from, we'd
that-
send somebody to go collect that. You know that, right?
Right.
Fuck that.
Hey, why do you think we have Woody on House Hall Report? It's like, hey, Woody,
Holy
we got a guy who
fuck,
owes us
man.
money. Go get it.
Such
And Woody's
a-
like, got you.
Absolutely. I'll
That's
get it
fucking-
for you. Don't worry.
That's legal robbery right there. That's what that is. Legal robbery. That is
So,
exactly.
Now-
if they cut Russ,
Wow.
Russ is now a free agent with no baggage money-wise that you can pick up for whatever you're going to pay him. I think there are a couple teams where he has they might look at him like Vegas. Where they're at in the draft. They're like, we don't have a shot at getting our starter. Maybe we get Russ this year.
See, now
Same
I
with
know
Minnesota.
I know Russ has had a lot of success before in the league, but from the reports coming out of Seattle and out of Denver about him completely isolating himself in the locker room from the guys and how there was a specific set of rules just for him, and then there was the rules for the rest of the team. I would not want this guy mentoring my upcoming quarterback for anything.
How's
if
that a
it's-
team? That's not even a team.
Yep. Exactly. That's why I would not want him to mentor shit. If
Well,
it
but
was
then again, though,
if it was you're a starter hungry team, then I can agree with signing him because hey, you're already SOL anyway. Maybe it works.
I mean, but that's Mike. Ken, that's the thing. I mean, you need a starter. If you're Vegas or Minnesota, you might not be drafting a quarterback because you're not going to want to waste a first round pick maybe on what's left by the time they get to you, right? So his market and Mike's right. His market won't be huge, but Vegas, Minnesota, possibly Atlanta. There's maybe a couple other teams we're not thinking about off the top of our heads right now, but there's going to be 2 or 3 teams who are going to be in for his services because they might not be able to get what they need in the draft at the quarterback position. And he can start right now, right? Does anyone here think he can't be a starter?
He can be one, just not an effective one.
Well, I mean, he's still better than whatever Minnesota has on the roster right now. He's still better than whatever Atlanta has on the roster right now. So I mean,
Coach literally just said it yesterday. He came out.
Yeah,
with
I mean,
we ain't got a good quarterback. Like crap.
And even the Colts, is he a better backup than Gardner Minshew? Maybe. So
I don't know
got-
about that now.
I would
Give
take
some
Gardner
games.
Minshew
that's
over
why I
him.
said maybe. That's
Mhm.
why I said maybe.
Mhm.
But I mean,
You're
there are a
gonna have
couple
Gardner hit you
teams
up in
who
your
could.
DMs.
I mean, look at Russ and A-Rod have a great relationship. Hey, Russ, why don't you come be A-Rod's backup this year, and we're going to jettison Wilson. Because here's the thing with Russ, though, too. Russ had all the success in the NFC, got it, but he's also got good relations with certain people. There's a lot of different scenarios. Look, if you're the Jets and you're like, okay, Wilson, we're done with him. Bye-bye. See ya. We're out of here. And it looks like Rob had to go to his spa to get his massage. We know what's going to happen there. But, Russ and A-Rod are buds. Hey, bud, why don't you come be my backup this year, man? We'll pay you like $6 million to do it. And maybe we'll win a ring. Maybe, there's options that Russ has. So there's going to be a market for Russ. I just think it's interesting that no one, well, it's not too terribly interesting. It's kind of obvious. No one wants to trade for him. But I think there's a market for him.
There has to be. There's always a market for a player. They're just not coming out and saying it, I bet. Before this draft, everybody's looking for, their big pieces and everything. So I wouldn't want to guarantee Russ a contract, though, like right now.
To me, he's
my QB and everything.
To me, he's a more talented version of Jameis Winston. He can do very well, or he can play absolutely piss poor. It's almost 50-50 now, because last year for him wasn't too bad, but the year before was god-awful.
Yes, it was.
Cool.
It was Dookie.
Exactly. Like,
it was Dookie.
I just don't get how you go. How do you go from being a winner to? It makes no sense. Like, because he was good a couple of years.
Well, a lot of the narrative is that Pete Carroll coddled the ever-living shit out of him in Seattle.
That's how it had to be.
And if you listen to Sherm or Marshawn Lynch speak, a lot of players resented Russ for that. Because
of course, because Russell threw that interception. He didn't know how to hand off to Marshawn Lynch and win that Super Bowl.
Oh, did you hear what Marshawn Lynch did to Pete Carroll literally right after that play?
I can imagine.
As soon as that play ended, as he walked off the sidelines, he got up this freaking close to him and laughed directly in his face.
Well,
I heard that.
That's more than what Kelsey did to Andy Reid Super Bowl last couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that shit. Man, I thought he was going to kill him.
Yeah.
No, he's like, dude, my girlfriend's here. You're making me look bad. Throw me the ball.
The cameras are more on my girlfriend than me. Get a play in for me.
You know what?
Never.
After Kelsey had his, we'll call it, moment with his coach, Kansas City all of a sudden played better. So maybe, look, we all know coaches will get in a player's face to motivate them.
No.
Maybe Kelsey was just trying to motivate Andy Reid to coach better.
Kelsey, the coach now.
Ken, I know you being a military man are not going to want somebody barking up the chain of command.
Hey,
it don't work like that, bro.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I don't believe
it. Hey, that's my role now.
I know everybody on this panel knew when they saw that was some bullshit.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's disrespectful. If I was Andy Reid, I'd say, if I was Andy Reid, I'd say, go sit on the fucking bench. I'll see you.
Fucking ain't right, man. You get up in my face, go sit the fuck down.
I was Andy Reid,
go up in the press box with your girlfriend and fucking your brother.
Yeah, go up there. Yeah.
Speaking of coaches, Dom, I think you've got. Hey, this is the first time since we've started Ken and Ken in the morning. We have a double banger of Dom's team with news. Dom.
Hey, Zach Robinson. Yes. Falcons have brought him in, and with 6 other Ram coaches. Will they bring the Rams culture with them? I believe they will. Zach Robinson, just like Morris, is looking for a QB that can run the offense really good. And they're not looking for a mediocre QB. They're looking for somebody who can run that pocket, stand in there, have good QB vision, read. Not, hit a receiver on the first play or hit the receiver on the second play, just read. And if not, escape and everything.
Well, Justin Fields is out for you then.
Oh, I've been reading that, like, Zach Robinson, like that. Justin Fields isn't his type of player either.
Good. See ya.
I think they're going to, as I said, they're going to draft, but they're going to have to find a way to move up.
Wait, I'm getting an update on my phone.
Yeah.
Dominic, I'm getting an update on my phone. The Atlanta Falcons have been renamed the Atlanta Rams.
Jesus.
Last year we were the Atlanta Bears. What do you mean? And the year before it was the Atlanta Titans. So
Well, that sounds
I'm already
better than
used
the
to the name
Georgia.
changes, man.
It sounds better than the Georgia Sheagles.
Yeah. No, I'm just joking about that. But I mean, it's interesting. He brought 6 Ram coaches with him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
I think
usually
they were
one or
all.
two.
I'm not gonna say it was a plan, but I think he did more.
Hey, Nick. Hey, Nick. It's not mine. It's not mine. I promise
I
you.
don't think anybody had to worry about it.
Oh Lord. Woo. Woo, Nick, you better.
Yeah,
But
Nick
I want to know. I want to know who she's pregnant by. Which Kelsey?
Yeah, right.
Hey, and wait. Throw that comment back up, Ken.
Yep.
For all the Swifties out there, there's a guy you're going to look for, and his name is Nicholas Green, aka Nick Green. Show him some of that Swifty love. Okay, there we go.
Yep.
There you go, Nick.
We got another.
Maury.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, call Maury Povich. I tested 10 daddies. You're still not my father.
Gonna start doing the floss or some crap like that. Kelsey will.
So,
Hey guys, it's been a pleasure. I got to go to my appointment. Thank you for having me on. And Ken, I will most likely see you Saturday, but definitely on Sunday.
Definitely, brother.
All right,
Thanks
well,
for
it was
joining
nice
us.
having you on, man.
Nice having you on.
And the Fields rumors is all from Atlanta. I'm glad to hear that. He's staying in Chicago. Fuck all you haters. I'll see you later. Have a good day.
Later.
Peace.
Go Bears!
Yeah, it's great. I'm actually really happy we have a lot of good Atlanta news today.
Thank you. Me too.
Because with the focus, the nice thing I like about the combine guys is this: the focus now is starting to get off some of the rumors. I mean, it's still there. They're still talking Caleb. They're still talking Justin. But now we're starting to get stuff to actually talk about.
We're getting a whole bunch of the Derrick Henry to Green Bay freaking rumors.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that Bill did a video on it, and he stole that idea from us because we talked about on the House Hall about 3 weeks ago about Henry coming to Chicago. That's okay, Bill. I mean, I get it. I get Packer fans with it too because look at Derrick Henry's $6 million option. What team wouldn't want him on their roster right now? He doesn't have to be your every down back. That's if he whether he goes to Green Bay, whether he goes to Chicago. If Minnesota doesn't even have $2 million, let alone $6 million to sign him. But if he went to one of our teams, would you be upset with your short down back in Green Bay?
He's
or
not
even
coming
Atlanta?
to
But I don't, Rob. But just.
But he don't want to play for no. That's the reason he's having problems there. He doesn't want to be the secondary back. He wants to be the only back. And unless you're going to have a system for that, he's not going. He doesn't even want to talk to your team. And that's why the Bears are. That's why the Bears are an interesting thing for them because you guys may only be one back system.
Well, he wants to go to a team where he can get to ring. So I think Green Bay is in the discussion. I think Chicago will be in the discussion because of what we can add to the team to put us. You have to admit, with what the Bears have in draft capital and cash capital to sign people, they can be a contending team for the playoffs. If you're in the playoffs, you're automatically.
I want to see what the Bears do with that. You can have all the capital in the world. You got to make something with it.
Yeah, but Rob, just let me finish the thought here. Both these teams,
all right, go ahead.
Both these teams are teams that are going to be playoff teams that can give Derrick Henry a shot at getting to a Super Bowl. Would you be upset with him being your short yardage guy, and you go to him and say, "Hey, look, Derrick, I know you want to be an every down guy. We want you to be our short down, our goal line, and then every so often we just want to play you for all three, just to fuck with people's minds and keep them on their toes because we can let you be the every down back for 2 or 3, and then we can bring in our other guy and let production go." I mean, for $6 million, he's not a bad option. Now, whether he wants to do it or not, I don't care, right? But for our sake of argument, as a Packer fan or a Bears fan, would I be unhappy? Would you be unhappy with Derrick Henry on that roster to do that? That's the question. And then we can figure out whether he would want to do it or not. Because obviously, there's linkage where people are thinking that our teams are interested in him, and they should be. So, if you could have Derrick Henry on your roster, would you welcome it?
I mean, yeah, but I don't. I don't think it's realistic because I don't think he wants to play for a two-back team. He definitely doesn't want to be the secondary guy. If he's the lead back, maybe you get a chance at him on a two-back system, but no one's unseating Aaron Jones in our system. I mean, Packer fans will go crazy if that happened. But I agree with you. He's a veteran back, and if he's on your team, he makes you better. But I just don't see it. I mean, not for Green Bay.
So, and I mean, I kind of agree with you. I kind of agree with Nick. So then where's his market? What's his market then? Like where could Derrick Henry reasonably go where he's going to be the every down back and have a chance to go to the playoffs this year? Because that's what he's looking for. What are his options?
I don't know how many systems. I mean, everybody's going to two-back systems. I mean, that's the way of the running back. That's the way it is. I mean, Henry's a dying breed. There's not many of these cow backs left. Yeah, New England, maybe.
I just talked about New England. New England uses only one, right?
Yeah.
Baltimore
Steelers have Harris.
Baltimore would be. I think Baltimore would be a great place to go.
Yeah,
that'd be scary. Him and Lamar. Hey, look, Nick even agrees.
Well, now we know we're wrong, guys. We know we're wrong. Nick agrees.
We're not because Nick agrees. Mormon power. It's Mormon power over there.
Jaguars, I think, would be a good one.
No, because they got NTN. NTN's their boy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, he's had a he had a down year, but he's usually pretty solid.
Has he been consistent?
Yeah,
he had a down year last year, I think, but that was it. I mean,
I think he's their boy. I don't think you're messing with Etienne.
But that is an option, though. I mean, seriously.
They did trade what's his name a few years ago, Robinson. Yeah, and he was supposed to be their guy.
Ooh, replacing Najee Harris.
Harris is up and down. And Mixon's out in Cincinnati, and they do a one-back system. But maybe that's why he's out. I mean,
why would you go get Derrick Henry though? Isn't he just the same age or a little bit older than Mixon?
Derrick Henry is a better running back than Mixon.
But Mixon fits
Mixon's good, but
actually,
I personally think Henry's the better back.
Actually, I'll make the argument.
Young though.
I'll make an argument for him to go to Chicago because I think if he goes to Chicago, he would become back one. Because here's another reason I would like him in Chicago because I like our two running backs we currently have on the roster, right? But I think he's back one because when you look at Herbert was better as back two than back one. He was better when Monty was RB1 and he was RB2 because Henry is more of the Bears style in general. Herbert's more of a slasher. Now look, he had a good year last year, and Robinson. I mean, not Robinson. He's good too. I mean, I think Henry would be our one, and then we got two great backs behind him to cycle through for other situations. So
the best reason for you guys to sign him would be because when Fields is having a bad game, you can rely on a run game, which I don't think you guys can do right now.
Well, I think Roschon Johnson is going to become that guy, but
Henry, that would be you could lean on Henry to take over a game for you.
Well, and he could mentor Roschon. Easily mentor Roschon. So I mean, I think the Bears could be an interesting scenario. They definitely have the money.
That's the other reason. That's the main reason Henry wants to go there. They got the money.
I mean, the Packers. I agree with you. Like, you're not gonna make him RB1. So why would he go there? I mean,
he's not gonna do it, man. There's no way. No way is he. I don't know anybody who's gonna unseat Aaron Jones right now and where he's at. I mean, he played the last 5 games. He averaged 125 yards a game, man. He's fucking
Texans. No, I think Pierce is that guy. They're gonna stick with Pierce.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
If Minnesota had money, they need a running back.
The new offensive.
Minnesota doesn't have money.
All right.
Look at Minnesota is like a certain individual who no longer has a voice in our chat room in the back. They don't have a voice in that. They've been booted from that conversation because they have no funds.
All right, but it's about that time now. So we might as well say our goodbyes and run our outro.
Go Pack, go!
Dirty Bird opinions.
Go Pack, go!
He has time. He's got onside. Touch is there. Leaping grab. Touchdown! Touchdown!